When you don't have a true appreciation and acceptance for who you are, and you allow yourself to be immobilized by fear, what happens in the process is that you begin to abuse yourself. You begin to sabotage your life, you begin to sabotage your dreams, you begin to unconsciously work against yourself. You become your own worst enemy. So what do you do about that? Well, you begin to realize that your dream and your gifts have so much meaning and so much value for you till your hunger for them will begin to push you past the fear. Your hunger to have them will give you a special drive.
But one of the main reasons that people don't get what they want is because they don't actually figure out what it is. And the probability that you're going to get what would be good for you, let's say, which would even be better than what you want, right? Because, you know, you might be wrong about what you want easily. But maybe you could get what would really be good for you. Well, why don't you? Well, because you don't try. You don't think, okay, here's what I would like if I could have it. Imagine that you were taking care of yourself like you were someone you actually cared for. And then you thought, okay, I'm caring for this person. I would like things to go as well for them as possible. What would their life have to be like in order for that to be the case? Well, people don't do that. They don't sit down and think, all right, you know, let's figure it out. You've got a life. It's hard, obviously. It's like 3 years from now, you can have what you need.
If you can learn a lesson when you make the mistake and not make the mistake twice, and you're gritty enough to not quit, you have what it takes to succeed, but it's going to take time, and it's going to be hard, and you're not going to live the same life as all of your friends and all of your family, and they're not going to understand it, and they're going to criticize you, and they're going to laugh at you, and they're going to make jokes about it, because that's not the path that they are on. They're going to talk to you about things like balance. So it's very difficult in the beginning for a young person to go down the path, because once they step into that path, they meet resistance from literally everywhere they go. They're meeting resistance from their friends, their family. They're getting made fun of on the internet. They're being asked, like, are you sure? Are you sure? And they're being told, don't forget where you came from, man. Don't forget to be humble. You know, you're getting a little too materialistic. You know, you're getting a little greedy there.
Because you're sad, now you're going to make a bunch of bad decisions because you're sad. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You're sad. Okay. You get emotional sometimes? Okay, got it. Now, get control of your emotions and carry on with your life. And sometimes you're gonna get hit with those waves, and that's okay. Oh, I'm having an emotional moment right now. There's something wrong with me. No, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you.
The only shortcut to life is to never miss a day. One, because of compounding interest, and two, because sometimes you get lucky. And you'll never miss a lucky day if you try every day. If you don't try every day, you might miss your lucky day. And that's what people don't understand. If you never miss a day and you never don't try and you're always on time and you try and improve every aspect of your life and you're a professional and you try and make sure that you analyze your decisions, you give yourself feedback, you don't make mistakes, you're not lazy. If you try and you make it to the top, you end up elitist because you look at the people down below and you're like, well, why didn't you try? I did.
People don't ever get to see behind the curtains of what happens. They just see the show in front. Behind the curtains, there's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot of focus, there's a lot of determination, there's a lot of walking away from folks, there's a lot of holding your tongue and turning the other cheek. There's a whole lot of that going on. And that ain't gonna stop, because that's who God called. God called us collect, you know that, right? And we accepted the charges.
There you go.
All right, so we got to pay for that, because he called us collect and we accepted those charges.
People want to find their passion, but you don't find it, you create it. And you create it by getting good at something. And to get good at stuff, you start by doing something you suck at. Then you get good, then you like it. Then people ask how you found your passion. Answer: by starting when you sucked and not giving up.
When I think about how hard I want to work, the interesting thing about that is that the only person who can judge you on your success is you, because you're the only one who knows how much left in the tank you really had. And the better you get, you start winning exteriorly. And that's when people are like, it felt so empty. It's because they didn't actually work as hard as they could have. They just worked hard enough to beat everyone else. But that discrepancy between how hard you could have worked to work your hardest versus what was required in order to win, to me, that's the opportunity that shifting towards the work being the goal unlocks for you.
If a person would sit down and let their body relax, totally relax, and then start to visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves, see how you'd like to live your life, see yourself living it that way. Now understand that that's a picture in your mind. When you pick up a book, the book is nothing but a picture that an author has painted in words. Take that picture and describe it. Write it out in the present tense. I am so happy now that I see myself, and write it out. But write out a description of how you'd like to see yourself. Start to read it and read it and read it and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers all down through history have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. Now, it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie, but if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it.
Procrastination is caused by the fear of success. You know if you did it, you'd win, and you'd be better. You and I aren't afraid to be rejected because we've learned one thing about self-esteem. Since self-esteem has nothing to do with performance, it has to do with potential. You and I can separate who we are from what we do. And the one thing you learn with high self-esteem in life is you never carry failure forward. Failure is always left where it belongs as a learning experience, a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block, a temporary inconvenience.
Why does discipline equal freedom?
Because the more discipline you have in your life, the more freedom you will end up with. So if you lack the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up being a slave to disease. If you lack the discipline to work hard, save your money, you will end up a slave to finances. If you lack the discipline to manage your time correctly, you will end up with no free time. If you have self-discipline, if you have the discipline to save your money and work hard and invest your money properly, if you have the discipline to manage your time correctly and not waste a bunch of time, if you have the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up with freedom.
Now is the time to take risk. As you get older, your obligations increase. And once you have a family, you start taking risk not just for yourself, but for your family as well. It gets much harder to do things that might not work out. So now is the time to do that.
You need to see bad things as a blessing because they're the building blocks to make you the man you want to be. When people say to me, this bad thing happened to me, I say, good. That's my instant response. This girl left me, good. I lost all my money, good. What do you mean good? Good. This is your chance to take all of that negative emotion, all of those building blocks, and turn yourself into a man that prevents these bad things happening to them ever again. Now, of course, you have to have the agency to do that. You're right. If you're going to be broken by it, then you're going to fail. But bad things are certainly a blessing. I believe that's how God teaches. I would actually argue that men only learn through pain. I think we only learn that way. I don't think men know how to learn the easy way.
Never say you can't do it. Say, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. And that's true with everything. It's like, there's nothing that you can't do. You may not have done it yet. We don't know if you can do it or not until you really practice. And then you find out if you can do it or not, or how well you can do it.
Yeah. And it's so much easier to make the same choice every single day. And the hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. And the moment you decide to make a different choice, you're going to feel uncomfortable because you're stepping from the known into the unknown. So some people would rather cling to their self-pity than take a chance and possibility. They'd rather tell the story of their past instead of telling the story of their future. They'd rather believe in their past instead of believe in their future.
But one of the things that really motivates me, or one of my most powerful motivational frames, is thinking about the person that I want to become as the destination. And thinking like, I want to be bulletproof. I want to be bulletproof in these ways. I want to be bulletproof in my marriage. I want to be bulletproof in my business, etc. And I think about that man, whoever I want him to be. Like we said, hell is when you look at who you could have been and realize that you're not that person. And then I think, if I were to make that man, what would I put that man through to make him who he is? Like, it wouldn't be easy times. It wouldn't be quick wins. It wouldn't even be easy wins. It would be the toil and the struggle of achieving and reaching for things that are right out of grasp, that are right above my threshold, and continuing to do that to like lift the weight, to build the muscle, to break it down and do it over and over again, because like that's what creates the character traits that are the man that I want to be. And so when I'm going through those like really harder times, I like to think of like looking in my mental mirror of like, I'm making you. I'm not there yet, but I'm making you.
Fear is my friend. I love fear. Fear allows me to reach my highest potential. The fear of failing is an illusion.
Yeah.
Fear is an illusion, but we have to have desire. We have to have something that pushes us. Fear pushes us. We don't understand that living prepares us for death. Our life, it prepares us for death. You know, even if we die young, it prepares us. So just the fact that we're losing guys like Kobe lose. We just moving people in our family. There's people dying. It's around us all every day, so we prepare for it. We understand it, but we avoid it. Whatever we do in the sports, life, and when you don't have that feeling no more, it's over. Listen, you think a deer comes to a lake. He feels the intention is a lion in the tree. So normally he'll jump 50 feet, but with that fear, he jumps 40 feet.
Yeah.
You know, it's the flight of, it's survival. Our fear makes us think things that don't even exist. Our biggest fear never happened. Whatever we're afraid of in life, our biggest fear never happens. We go to our grave saying, wow, this shit never happened. I was waiting for this, it never came, you know? It's just, it motivates us.
I know that until you make a decision that you no longer want to feel how you feel, or you no longer want to think the way that you think, or you no longer want to have the kind of results or no results that you have, until you make that decision that, you know what, I know I don't feel great, I know I doubt myself, I know I've had a lot of bad things happen, I know there's a lot that I regret, but damn it, with the time that I have left in my life, I really want to start to enjoy myself. I want to take better care of myself. I want to feel happy. You don't even have to believe you deserve it yet. You can just want it. You've got to start there. You've got to start with wanting something better for yourself. And then I personally think the most important thing is to start acting like the person who has the things that you want right now, even though you don't feel like it.
You have to be okay with being misunderstood. You have to be okay with being rejected. You have to be okay with not thinking like the 99%. If you want to lead, you have to lead from a place of confidence. And the worst thing you want to be is be a follower that follows followers. It's the worst thing that you can be. A sheep that follows sheep. A leader is the one that sets the direction, is the one that thinks on their own terms, whether they're right or wrong, whether you agree with it or not. You have to be able to turn your back to the crowd. You must be able to turn your back to the status quo and the norm, because usually the norm is dictated, like we said, by perceptions that are managed by extremely powerful entities and people. And it's usually based off of a very limited set of rules and beliefs and a preconceived set of plans. If you want to be a leader, you have to lead yourself first. And you have to lead yourself through free thought and through critical thinking. And unless you develop those things, then you're going to just be a follower of followers.
I think you would give me everything you own in 25 years' time to be the age you are now and as healthy as you are right now. And I think it's a really interesting meditation to think about, right, if you had a time machine, if you were 30 years in the future, if you could be this healthy and feel this good and be this age, you'd give everything materially that you own in 30 years' time to be back here. And just to take that in for a minute, just to take a moment to think about, wow, this is amazing.
People think of God as, the joke is, a cosmic butler. You pray to have your wishes granted. It's like, he's not a genie. You want to pray? It's like, pray about your stupidity. Here's a prayer that'll work for sure. You want to see if prayer works? Here's one. This will work. Sit on the edge of your bed. Ask yourself, what bloody stupid thing do I continue to do that's making my life more miserable than it has to be, and everyone else's life around me, that I could give up, that I would give up? But you have to really want the answer. So you open yourself up in humility to a revelation. You'll get an answer. It won't be one you want. That's how you'll know it's true. But if you act on it, then your life will improve.
God doesn't give you the people you want. He gives you the people you need to help you, to hurt you, to leave you, to love you, and to make you the person you were meant to be. Oftentimes, when we deal in love, we love the version of people that best suits us. Yes. We don't always love the version of that person that best suits us in our development and the people that we're striving to become. We love the best version of that person that best suits us. We don't always appreciate the best version of that person that helps us develop into the people that we're destined to become. That's the person that we need, right? You don't always need the coach that's gonna pat you on the butt and say, good job. Sometimes you need the coach that's gonna say, hey man, get your shit together. Get your life together. Like, let's go. Other times you might need the cat that's gonna say, hey youngin, you too hard on yourself, man. Give yourself some grace. The wisdom in that is knowing what season that you're in and knowing how to receive it. Like being honest with yourself, right? It's times in your life to where you're gonna need that drill sergeant. It's times in your life to where you're gonna need that cat to give you that grace. Not rebuking it, not fighting it. Understanding and being honest with yourself and knowing what you need in the moment, predicating upon the season that you're in life and the person that you're striving to become.